Good evening, everybody. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening, and just pointing the camera now over to the northeast side of Kilronan Mountain, because although I probably won't see it tonight because it's so cloudy, and yes, we've had rain, which has been fabulous, by the way, there's a star that rises, or appears to rise, in the northeast, and it sort of verges over towards the eastern sky, and it's a star that shines very brightly and flashes red and green. Now today, I've been reading back on some old diaries, and through diary entries I recall some very interesting conversations I had with my mother, who has been dead these past years, but who took such delight in Bealtaine Cottage, and in particular this part of the world, and felt very drawn spiritually and magically to this part of the world. And of course, when the sky is clear, it's quite usual, especially during these summer months, well, all the year round really, but during the summer months when you're more likely to step outdoors, to see a brilliantly lit night sky, literally illuminated by the Milky Way. And those of you who have visited Ireland and witnessed this will of course be able to bear testament to the incredible clarity of the night sky. So 15 years ago, at the beginning of the Bealtaine Project, and my mother would be here a lot, we both witnessed this star that flashes red and green in the night sky. Now, it was almost impossible to find out anything about this. And in fact, when I talked to people, whether it be here in Ireland or on the internet, very few people, in fact, all except one, knew nothing about this, and looked at me as though I was crazy. And my mother said to me at one point, she said, "Colette, could it be that it's only myself and yourself who are seeing this?" And for a long time it seemed that way. And then, I think it was the second summer I was here, my son was visiting, and he's very familiar with the night sky. He lives in Canada now, but in fact he took his pilot's license in Canada, so had to do a lot of night flying in order to get his license, get his wings. And it was this particular summer's evening, and myself and my mother took Dylan outside and said, "Look at this star, you know, what is it?" So I thought, well, if anyone knows what this vision is, it'll be Dylan. And he looked up and said, I don't have a clue. I've never seen anything like it before in my life." And his fiancée, who is now his wife, turned round and she said, "That makes me feel very uncomfortable. I want to go back indoors." And of course that was precisely what my mother and I had both felt about this star. we had talked about it, we had discussed it, and both of us felt that we were being watched. So, following an internet search, and I got in touch with an observatory, an astronomy observatory in Australia, of all places, because I sent emails out to quite a lot, but this particular one responded to me, and they said, we reckon this star could be Arcturus, which is spelled Arcturus. So I researched the word Arcturus, and some very interesting things came up. And one of them was that the ancient Egyptians knew about this star and referred to it as a place where the souls go on their journey. So anyway, this kind of just stayed around my head and in various diaries for years, and I never thought too much about it because it seemed as though I couldn't get to any conclusive resolution, of understanding about this star. And recently I've been seeing it, and it's still flashing red and green. And following a recent internet search, it now appears that lots and lots of people have seen it recently. And one of the searches that I was on led me to a site where the star is described as being Capella, Capella. So I haven't yet researched Capella, but the bones of all this is that here is a star, something that's quite visible in the night sky, that for all of my life I'd never seen. I come to Bealtaine, 15 years ago I witnessed it. It makes me feel rather almost paranoid. I really get a very strong feeling I'm being watched. My mother felt the same. My son, who is a man of the world, said he'd never seen it before in his life, didn't know what it was. It's now been referred to on various sites over social media, so the awareness is growing of this. And then I just chance upon a very interesting radio interview with Shirley MacLaine, of all people. Now Shirley, as an actress, a singer, dancer, a very talented woman, I adore. When it's anything to do with her own personal thoughts on the world and time and space and whatever, I never really took her seriously, and she just struck me as being another sort of, sort of Hollywood airhead, for want of a better expression. And I don't mean that as insulting, but just, where she was not of this world, she was not of this reality, as many people living richer and more privileged lives are. However, this interview, which is featured on a New York radio station, and it was from 2007, Shirley says some very interesting things in this interview. That's a very short interview, and it won't be difficult for you to find, because it's Shirley MacLaine. It's a New York radio station, and it's 2007. So the clip is up there, and I think the clip has only been put up there recently. Also, by the way. But Shirley, who, as you know, or may not know, but I think it's generally accepted that Shirley has always been intrigued and interested with extraterrestrial life. And in this interview she says, quite categorically, that extraterrestrial life, so beings from other worlds, are very concerned about what's happening here on Earth and the way that everything is going. Now this is from 2007, so it isn't as if Shirley was jumping on a bandwagon like there is today, you know, with the climate change talk and extreme weather events and the reality of what's happening. So that then brought me back to this star. And the fact that the only gut reaction, the only feeling I've ever got from this experience has been that I was being watched. There was nothing threatening. It was just that it made me feel I was in something of a goldfish bowl. I was being watched to the point where I didn't feel comfortable standing under the gaze of this star and needed to go back indoors, and I felt quite cut off from it all within the stone cottage. And my mother felt the same, and my son felt the same, although he didn't articulate it as such. But his fiancée, who is now his wife, definitely felt the same. So I just wanted to share that with you. Because there's interesting things afoot. There's interesting things happening. Oh, and as I said that, he just starts to go a little berserk. I don't know. Yeah. So, apologies for not putting any videos up over the past couple of days. I've been inundated with visitors, and in fact this coming week I've got more garden visitors. Now I am going to bring all this to a halt because time-wise it's incredibly taxing. So, just to let you know that if there is not a video going up in any particular day, it's because I just have not had the time. I don't even know where I've got the time for this evening, but it was just something that I really felt I had to share with you. In between times, look, I've managed to clean down and sweep down and tidy up my veranda and make myself a little, see, all this has been here for visitors, you know. Anyway, there are links underneath this video and every video to the Bealtaine Cottage website, where you can have a look at what the Bealtaine Cottage Press publishes and has for sale. Everything is printed here in Ireland. It's not uploaded to Amazon. I have nothing to do with Amazon. I have nothing to do with corporations or advertising. So everything that is on the website is independent of all that. Everything that's sold from the website is posted from my local post office. So everything is kept very much supporting local Irish communities. So on that note, still waiting, by the way, for the poppies to open up. Lots and lots of poppies, lots of bees. Oh, by the way, I posted a couple of photographs up on Facebook and Twitter today that I took this morning of, I think there was 8 or 9 sparrows, house sparrows, on the bird table eating the seed. And then I heard from, I think it was Sean Hinchcliffe. Sean told me that the house sparrow is now endangered in the UK. So it looks as though a huge flock of them have come to Bealtaine in search of sanctuary, and sanctuary they have found. So I was just explaining, of course, that I feed the birds all the way through the year as something of an apology for us humans having commandeered their habitat and their feeding grounds. So, as you can see, the bees are busy, even just in this small patch here, very busy. And the birds are singing, and hopefully there's going to be some more rain. And my gutter continues to leak. I've been up there taping it and trying to stop the leak, but to no avail. To no avail. I've spent another, I think, €24 on various tapes and glues and everything else. Look, there's another one. Does it work? No. Forget it. So I think at the end of the summer I'm going to have a new gutter put up there, but I'll wait until all the growth of the summer is gone. So, yeah, if you want to access what I was talking to you about there, the Bealtaine Cottage Press, there's a little arrow, tiny little arrowhead to the right underneath the video screen, and if you just tap on that, that will bring down a drop down bit that gives you all the blurb. So blessings to you all, and any of you who have any information on that star, by the way, please feel free to comment below. Blessings to you all.